Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Okay, men, we are going to start a belt. Now, the most important part of the belt is the one that goes backwards. You will see why shortly. But we will need some underground belts and some splitters. And actually, we are going to build a chest to dump some rubbish in. There you are. So we won't need those for a while. Won't need that for a while, and it's already full. That gives us a little bit of space. So I like a gap of 4 between my belts. Not quite sure why, it's just a number I like. So we're going to use a splitter to take some coal from our power stations to our supplies. But we're going to make sure we give priority to our power plants. There's no point doing anything if the power plants run out. And the most you can have is a belt. Well, you can have a belt as big as you like, but the most you should have is 4. Because if there's 4 belts, you can do that. If there's 5 belts, you can't. So 4 is pretty much your limit. And with these, we're going to give priority to the left. And we're going to set up a crude balancer. So although coal is mostly coming on this side here, there is a little bit on this side, it now dumps all of it on that side. So once this side of the belt is full, it will start going onto this side. As it starts on this side, it gets put onto this side, then if this is full, it will start getting onto that side. Hope that makes some sense to somebody. So we're going to have 4 full belts of coal. Probably quicker to do this manually, but I'm really lazy. So now we're going to build some iron mines. Again, you can obsess and make sure you get it absolutely perfect, but luckily I am not quite that crazy. So we can't do that because it's copper and iron. And that just gets us iron. In theory, you could get away with it if it was iron and coal, at least for a while. Eventually, once you stop burning coal in your furnaces, that will start to cause problems, but that's quite a way away. I think 30 mines, and that's the wrong way around. Completely mess this up. I think 30 mines is enough to fill a belt, which I don't think we're quite at yet, but we're not far from. So we will get some power for these, and they will start producing iron ore for us. and we can just run straight across and the computer will understand what we're trying to do and plop our belts down for us. Actually, we're going to have to go quite a lot further down than I was expecting. You know, it doesn't matter, we're not resource limited, so we can just put them where we want to. And we always want to keep our first belt full. So now we are going to have to take some material off the belt to use. So we will tap the coal first. And you should always leave yourself a lot more space than you think you'll need. So there were a lot of different ways to make this. I'm going to show you first what's kind of the most common way. And again, we want to prioritize this production because this is going to be iron plates and we're going to need a lot of iron plates. And when I say a lot of iron plates, I mean a lot of iron plates. So we will tap some power from there. The red belts kind of jump about, so they will pick my coal up, and my yellow belts get from their closest one, so they will just grab an iron from here. Now, again, a lot of people think this is a bad idea, but I think it's helpful. So rather than just making 100 irons, it will make 100 for itself, and then, I don't know, however many goes in there, a lot of iron. Like I said, you are going to need a lot of iron. So we can now copy all of this, make sure it's lined up properly, and just run along. So we are short a couple of red ones and a lot of yellow ones. Let's just quickly build those. And we are also short some boxes. I think you can have 48 mines, 48 furnaces being fed by one belt. So we've got 12 there. So we can have 4 sets of 12. And that will fully saturate, or that will fully drain this belt of iron ore. Now we're going to copy all of this. Actually, we'll try and copy all of it. Now if you press R, that just spins it around, which means the belts that are now at the bottom will be pointed the wrong direction. If you press V, it flips it upside down. And there we have it. Thought that was the wrong way again for a minute. Nope, there is a space there. It'll be a bit more sensible if you put that in first. So let's try this again. Let's copy these. We can't press R to rotate. We have to press V to vertically flip. Pop that down. And there we have it. Once we get a factory set up, we don't have to handcraft things anymore unless it's something oddly specific. But even that, to be honest, I had a production line once for nuclear generators. So you can do what you feel like. So again, iron is the closest one. So we will run this back and we will tap some iron. And we have to put not quite balancers, but I don't believe in balance systems. But we'll have to put some splitters in. So this one will drain this entire belt if it needs to. So then these three will mean this belt goes into here, this belt goes into here, this belt goes into here, and then this one can drain this entire belt again. And then that's closest, so then we, oh, have I done that the wrong way around? Yep, I have done that the wrong way around. So we will have a little gap here. So if I'd been paying attention, these would have been flipped around, but it makes no big difference really. And we can see this splitter is prioritizing this belt, but when this belt is full, it will put them here. Empty those furnaces. And now we will do basically the same thing with, actually no we won't. I'm going to be a little bit strange and we are going to move on to steel next. Let's just make sure we've got a little bit of space cleared. So steel uses iron plates. I think it needs 5 iron plates for 1 steel. So yeah, we need a lot more steel than iron. If you don't have bots, you have to manually clear all these trees, or you have to research grenades and use grenades to clear trees. Which, you know, I don't really have a problem with, but so these furnaces will only take kind of 5 coal, so we can use them to get rid of some extra coal, and the same with iron. And the reason I have left these here is because it is an easy way to make sure that you don't run out of iron. So that gives us a load more transport belts. Actually, we should probably show you this as well. So again, let's set our priorities. So this lane will always be prioritised, and only when this lane is full will it start going into here. Now we are going to do a slightly different layout for our steel. Not because it's a better way or anything like that, just because it is another way. So first we're going to need coal. And then we're going to need steel. So this handy little method gets you half steel and half coal. We can now copy that, run along, and we've got 12 steel furnaces. So they will start to collect coal, iron plates, and then they will start making steel. We're going to put boxes in to give us a bit of a buffer. Now, because we're going to need an absolutely stupendous amount more iron plates than steel, we're going to copy all of that, leave a little gap because you will always need space, and pop that down. So we've now doubled our steel production capacity. Our iron production capacity, sorry. You can still manually build things if they're ghosted, but it's time consuming and I can't be bothered. So we are short yellow inserters and some boxes and some forges, actually, some furnaces. Let's get them going. And them going. And like that, we have doubled our production capacity of iron plates. But normally you would do copper before you did steel, but there were a couple of different ways of laying out the belts, and that is what I think is the worst one. It's definitely got the lowest capacity. So I wanted to do that on my steel rather than on my copper. Set priority on all of my belts. So you can leave it at 50-50, but in my view, you need whatever's at the beginning of the belt a lot more than you need whatever's at the end. So there's no point kind of having a load of iron plates trying to make, I don't know, white science if you can't make cogs. But that's just my opinion. So let's copy those. We go into V to vertically spin it. I'm going to grab these at the end because that's just dead resources. They will never go anywhere. And then because I've got a load of wood, I'm going to load them up with wood. I'm not entirely sure what trash slots do. I think it tells your bots to get rid of things for you, but so again, we want coal, and we're going to want another set to make sure that this coal belt is always full. And we want iron plates. So now we'll pop that in, fill in the gap, and then again we've got a belt which is perfectly split between the two, and there is no way for coal to overwhelm the belt and it just become a coal belt. It will always split evenly between the two. Nope, don't want to do that. And now we're going to do copper. Now, this is definitely the wrong way to lay out belts, but I think it looks cool, so this is the way I do it. If you don't think it looks cool, you don't have to do it this way, but I'm going to, and I will look down upon you if you do not do it this way. How did I normally do that? There wasn't normally that gap. I'll have to have a think about how I normally do that, because it isn't that way, but it'll do for now, just to demonstrate the concept. I haven't actually got my copper mine set up yet. Oh, let's grab all of these. So again, we will prioritize the first belt, and I don't think I didn't supply power. So that explains why these things aren't even on. So let's put the wood in there because it's got to go somewhere. And build some more mines. And again, we're going to make sure that we don't get any materials we don't want. The way I normally do it is I'd put, in this case, the copper down first. But it doesn't really make a difference. So pop that in to prioritize that lane. It's because we've not got enough space there. So it does help if you copy a much bigger thing. It's easier to line up then, somewhat counterintuitively. So to build more yellow grabbers, we need some iron plates. that this is hilariously over-engineered, but I think it looks much cooler. And later on, when you do get assemblers and things that need, and they're the wrong way around. When you do get assemblers that need kind of 5 different items to produce things, then rather than setting up belts and grabbers and making sure things are on the right side, just running whole belts can be a lot easier. But mostly I just think it looks better. So we're going to copy all of this. We will vertically flip it. We will pop it down. And now we have or soon we will have 2 facilities for making copper plates. Again, we've run out of iron, so we will run up to my backup iron producers and grab some. I think it was it splitters I was short of? Yep. So this can go all the way back to my copper. And again, we always want to prioritize the right hand lane. And the same with our coal. Always want to prioritize the right hand lane. Kind of annoyed that I've messed that up now, but never mind. We can do it right on the next one. Set our splitters up to always prioritize the right hand lane. Accidentally delete a splitter. Okay, so now we do have, well, there's still stone to go really, but that's a lot less important, so I don't put that on the belt this early. You also don't need to do 4 belts of everything. Oh, this is why there's always one belt going backwards, because you can run faster on it. And running to the beginning is always a bit of a pain. So it looks like we've got quite a lot of coal. We don't really have much spare iron. Do we have enough iron? Yeah, we do have just about enough iron. Plenty of iron plates. And plenty of copper. So that is an alright start, I would say. So I'm going to pause it for now, and we will pick up again later.